He's bang on, he said. He's bang on and he's ready. There we go.
I didn't say I'm bang on, I said I'm barod.
Oh, you're barod. What does that mean?
Yeah. Ready.
Barod. I'm barod. There you
Barod.
go.
Barod even, ready to go.
I'm Divlas and I'm barod.
Yeah. You're Divlas and I'm barod.
There you go. Hey, look at me. I've got the colours on today. Where am I?
Oh, you got, is that the old Adobe logo or what's going on?
Behave yourself. Who do you think I am?
I don't know.
I'm fully branded today. Look at this guy. Everything.
So yeah, no. Tell me though, is that an old logo?
No, it was it's the one we used for Adobe Max the other day. So no.
Oh, okay, right on.
But anyway,
yeah.
Troubleshooting session 17.
Yes, yeah. It's the snappily titled. The snappily titled Troubleshooting session 17. Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Possibly the last one?
Could be. I think. I think.
Well, I better cancel my holidays.
Yeah. I think we're getting there.
Better cancel my holidays then. Can't tell. Phone the wife and tell her to cancel that restaurant for Friday night.
No, but it just feels like people have got loads of value.
Yeah.
People have got loads of value so far.
Yeah, the gravy train has come to an end, darling. Yes. No, it has. Yeah. No, it'll have to be a McDonald's. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, she's not happy. Right.
Anyway. But yeah, until we start refreshing things in the new academic year.
Yeah.
So there we go. Right, but you've promised us all a Unit 2 cheat sheet.
Boom. Let's go. Right.
Should we get it on there?
Get it up.
Right. Talk us through this bad boy.
All right. Everybody, hands up who likes a spreadsheet. Woohoo! I'll put both my hands up because I love a spreadsheet.
The desk up as well.
Yeah. Hey. So, so I've cobbled this bad boy together because, without laboring it too much, if you remember, Dom, we've got the development log for Unit 2, which in the exemplar was like 75 pages long.
Nice.
And the exemplar is only 64 out of 80 marks. So, which kind of, suggests that even at 70 odd pages long, that development log isn't hitting the mark.
Wow.
So there's no way that I can give my kids a 75-page document and go on, off you go. You know what I mean? So, I've had to break it down into subtasks. And then at the end, then they need to combine those PDFs. So combining PDFs is really easy using Adobe Acrobat, or you can use Adobe Express to combine PDFs. So that in itself is no big deal. So, whatever they've been using to write up these tasks, if it's Microsoft Word is probably, what most people are using, and just they can export these tasks as a PDF and then grab all their PDFs together and then combine them into one single PDF to put as a development log on the website.
So you can actually do that as if I share my screen.
Oh, please do.
You can share screen, entire screen, because you can on Adobe Express. Yeah. Let's get it up there. You can actually use the quick actions here. Press the plus. You can go to combine files, and you can actually use Microsoft Word docs.
Oh, so you wouldn't even have to export them as PDFs?
No, you could, and you could use screenshots could go in there if that's appropriate.
Man. Yeah, what a beautiful thing that is. So yeah, you can just dump all your Word documents up there, and it'll bump out a PDF.
Yeah, exactly. So just go in, whatever files you want, stick them all in there. Select them all. I mean, a lot of these are. Here's a PDF. Let's just try and find a Word doc as well. Why wouldn't I have any Word docs?
You don't write anything.
Anyway, I don't write anything there. Crucial Masterclass. Open them up. They'll go in here, and then you will also, if I'm not mistaken, be able to, shove them around and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I can rearrange them on the left there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. No.
Put something else in. and you're able to move them around, which is good.
Yeah. So, I've had this conversation with a few people, I think there's some disagreement about it, because a lot of teachers see it as a big faff to have to combine PDFs, when it comes to the end of the unit. But I just feel that for me to mark work, having to scroll to page 56 of everyone's document just to check how one part of it's coming on is, mind-numbing. So I can't deal with that. So I break it down into tasks, and that's what we've got on this list. And then I show you how my tracker spreadsheet works as well. Okay.
Right.
So Dom will be sending out a link to this spreadsheet. And when you get to it, what you need to do is basically just do File, make a copy. Otherwise, if you're just viewing mine, you won't really be able to change anything. Okay, but so make a copy into your own Google Drive, and then you can mess about with this as you want. Obviously, you can add names down on the left-hand side. So we've got you, and it's there for our Cymraeg friends as well. So it's in tabs at the bottom here. So the first sheet is in Welsh, second sheet is in English.
Yeah.
And then what I've got on the third sheet then is a kind of breakdown of what these mean, because basically you'll see here that we've got section A in unit 2 is data, and on the actual final mark sheet that you'd submit with your moderated sample, they'd ask you for, okay, how many marks out of 12 is it for section A? Okay. So then I've broken section A into 3 tasks. Okay, so we've got A1, A2, and A3. And on the tasks sheet here, you'll then see that I've got them English on the left, Welsh on the right, other way around, English on the right, Welsh on the left. So A1 is the analysis log organization, A2 is the analysis log analysis, A3 is the analysis log investigations. So those 3 then obviously you would combine at the end of the year into just the analysis log, because on the website you're going to need a link to one single PDF called analysis log. Okay, if you wanted to, this one you could keep as one document. The reason I split it into 3 is because it actually helps me with my marking, which is what we'll come to next. Okay, so in the analysis log, this is where they got to do some work on Excel, Dom. I remember we've spoken about it a bit before. And really, there's kind of 3 parts to what they've got to do in Excel. They're given the data file, which is in a mess. Okay, so they're given kind of the results from a survey, but the data's all messed up and jumbled up. So really, the first kind of set of tasks they've got to do is to cleanse it and get it set up with correct data types and data formats. To be usable. Okay, so that then all those tasks I kind of put into A1. Then A2 then is where you do spreadsheety stuff. So sorts, filters, 5 different formulas. A couple of pivot tables, and a graph or 2, that kind of thing. And then the final section then is investigations. So what if investigations, pivot tables, that kind of thing. Okay. So then combined, you need to create a mark out of 12 across all those skills. So as you can see here, quite simply, I just mark every piece of work out of 4. Okay. So if everything's perfect, then, that first one, A1, yeah, that was perfect. 4 out of 4. A2 is perfect. 4 out of 4. A3 was perfect. 4 out of 4. And then that's going to give that kid 12 out of 12 there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you get a 4, 4, 3, then they're going to 11. There we go. All right. So it basically kind of takes a bit of the guesswork out of me finding what band of marks I'm going to put these kids in, because it's very difficult to do that across a spread of different assignments. Now, in this first one, it's probably, it would be easier to do that. You know what I mean? Because you've got to look at hang on, sorry. Let me just shift over to here. Here we go. So here's how we'd have to mark it. Okay, this is our mark sheet. So you just get this 12 mark thing here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got bands. Okay, you've got band 1, 2, 3, and 4. You see them on the left-hand side. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to then, decide on a mark and a band out of 12. And really, they all break down to band 4 is excellent, band 3 is good, band 2 is okay, and band 1 is, so.
Yeah.
But doing that across a set of tasks is more difficult than it appears, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Because what if they've done 2 tasks really well and they haven't handed one in? What happens then? So what's meant to happen then is that you're meant to take a line of best fit. But that could be really difficult to do, and it's quite subjective. So this tracker that I've got kind of aims to take take all of that away. Just by using maths, really,
Right.
So you go across, and by the end of it, then you'll have your total mark out of 80, a percentage, and then a kind of a rough estimated grade. Now, the only reason I put estimated grades in there is the kids seem to respond pretty well to them. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
If you're trying to give formative feedback, they kind of, I don't know about everyone else, but my kids always kind of ask, "Oh, what kind of grade is it on?" You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, this is 1 out of 3 units. It's on no grade, but that's how they think. So if that's how they think, then I'll speak to them in those terms, really.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to tweak those grade boundaries, they're on the 4th sheet across the bottom here. So I've just gone for pretty generic grade boundaries there, which I haven't. They don't come from WJC or anywhere, or I've just invented those.
Okay.
So, if you're making a copy of this, feel free to tweak those grade boundaries as you see fit. Now then, that's where this really gets interesting, is in B, C, D, B and C, and G and H, because basically the development log is a huge beast. So this is the 75-page thing, which I've broken down into all these tasks, basically. So B1, your initial website design, so kind of a wire.
You're taking all of these from that PDF that you showed us before, or have you kind of broken these down yourself?
I've broken, yeah. So I've taken basically that PDF I just showed you is the mark scheme from the spec, from the actual WJC spec. So yes, it basically comes from there and from looking at what's in the exemplar.
So actually, there's a huge amount of analysis that's gone into this.
Well, from my part, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely tons. Yeah. Because you wanna. Yeah, I know. Yes, you don't need to act so surprised that I've done something thoroughly dumb.
I mean, I wasn't expecting to be impressed, and I am genuinely impressed by it.
No. So I've basically deconstructed the spec, the teacher guidance, and looked at the exemplar and seen, okay, what have they done in the exemplar, and what can I obviously see that's missing in the exemplar that needs to be in, and that's where this all comes in. So you can see there, it's going to B1 to B5 is all the website design. Okay, right. So you got your general website design, which would be, like a basic layout, your color scheme, font pairs, page hierarchy, that kind of thing. And then B2 then is your website storyboard, where you make basic layouts for a wireframe layout for each page. Yeah. And then they need to write up about accessibility features, why it's important to use alt text on images, why it's important to have no horizontal scrolling, to have responsive nav bars, Then the actual text that's going to go on each page. Then they have to have feedback. Okay, there's massive penalizing if we don't have feedback. So they have to show, basically. So what I do then, I tell my kids, right, open up B1, B2, B3, and B4. Okay, get it up on your screen, and then swap computers with your pal who's next door. And look through each other's B1 to B4, and then give each other feedback on the design so far. And then they'll pick another friend, swap again, so they get feedback from 3 different friends on their design so far.
Okay.
Okay, and then you go into C1 to C4 is the same kind of process, but this time for the animation. So these will be more familiar to you guys because we did a bit of this in the earlier sessions. So C1, they're going to write up their proposal. C2 is the first draft of the storyboard, and for that we used Adobe Express. Remember, we had fun with that, making like a comic strip using Adobe Express. Then they have to have feedback from their peers on that, and then they have to redraft it. Okay. Assets log is asked for. E and F for the actual final website, the final animation. Now, in your development log, you also have to have testing and evaluation. Okay. So the development log is basically these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 documents, all combined into one PDF.
So those 14 documents, in terms of share of the marks, because what I was thinking there is, you could produce a website and an animation that might actually be pretty average, but if your development log and your feedback is all absolutely spot on, you could still get pretty decent marks.
Yeah. So here, look. So the website and the animation themselves are 15 marks a piece out of 80.
Right.
So it's 30 out of 80 for the actual hands-on making stuff.
So actually, I mean that's true, then, isn't it?
Yeah, you can lump those develop assets 10 marks into that as well, I suppose, because that's kind of 10 marks for how good your design work is. So yeah, let's call that 40 out of 80. So it's basically half marks for doing stuff. And then the other 40 marks are, 12 marks for Excel, 11 marks for web design, all those tasks I just spoke about. 7 marks for animation design, all those tasks I just spoke about. And then at the end, then you've got 5 marks each for testing and evaluation.
Right. Interesting that you can actually, do a really solid job on your development log, but have like a pretty uninspiring website or uninspiring animation and still do quite well.
Yeah. What's also interesting is, and I think a lot of people are going to get caught out with this year, is that parts of your development log, task B5 and C3, okay, which is basically the feedback from your peers on your web design and your animation plan. If they're not good enough, you lose marks for your actual prac website and animation as well.
Right.
Which is dangerous, So you could have an amazing website and an amazing animation, but if you don't have a document anywhere talking about feedback you've had from peers, you can't be in the top mark band for the website and the animation.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to one of the people that is an examiner on this, and that person said that this has tripped some people up.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
So, you've got to make sure that, that these tasks are ticked off. So there's a list there, guys. All right. There's a list there, basically what I see as what's needed for the unit 2. Okay. And you can see then how you're going to need to combine those, because you're going to need to have on your website your analysis log, your development log, your assets log, and your final spreadsheet. Yeah. So everything basically goes into the development log, apart from the assets log is on its own and the analysis log is on its own.
Right.
Okay. So the 3 PDFs basically get produced from all of that stuff. Okay. We're going to jump into some hands-on stuff now. But, I think, and it's really outside our Adobe remit, really, but, there is scope.
It's important.
Yeah, there is scope for maybe guidance on all of these tasks, but, I don't know whether that's something we want to do in these sessions or not, really. But anyway, maybe we could have some comments on that. Are there sections of this? Are there tasks in there that you panic about, that you weren't quite sure what was needed? Give us a shout, guys. Yeah. Let us know if you're there as well. Let us know if we've got any company tonight.
Yeah, exactly that. So what are we going to get hands-on with? Because certainly from feedback emails I got from people, Dreamweaver was quite sticky.
Yeah.
Issues with the Nav Bar was quite common. Issues with exporting and previewing, which kind of we made a workaround in that they were going to have to open the project files anyway, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah.
But still not a great thing for not being able to, see it in a preview.
You know, it's really weird, right? We were talking about that when you put your animation into into Dreamweaver, and then you go to open it up on your browser.
Yeah.
That the animation wasn't showing up. When I was actually marking all my Final Kids websites, I was opening them up at home. So I'd collected all the work and I was opening the website up at home. Every single one of them, the animation played.
I wonder if that's like a bug fix.
Yeah, or is it a kind of school's internet filtering thing?
Yeah,
maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Possibly, maybe it's like, because what is the file extension? It's an HTML?
Yeah, it's a HTML file, and it's something to do with that browsers are a bit twitchy about loading local files
because they can't recognize, or it's being categorized possibly.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know what it is, but and maybe we can have some comments from the folks at home. But when I was actually opening up all the kids, and I was thinking, oh, this is gonna be a nightmare. I'm gonna have to open all of these up in Dreamweaver one at a time. They all opened up on the browser perfectly with the animation playing and everything.
You're doing that at home?
At home, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, but let's tackle some of the issues that have popped up on Dreamweaver, and maybe we'll do something a bit tasty on Dreamweaver tonight as well, which we have, which is a carousel, which I think is a lot of fun.
Woo. Right then, let's
add a little bit of pro dust on it. You know,
you love a bit of pro dust.
Love a bit of pro dust.
Get your Dreamweaver on.
Oh well, there it is. Okay. So on Dreamweaver, shall I start the new site or shall I carry on?
Start a new site, why not?
Okay. Right. Well, if you're going to start a new site, you do want to have your folder set up. Okay. So in your documents or whatever this is going to be, you have a new folder, and I'm going to call it New Camp Cymru site. Now remember, guys, Camp Cymru is a fake scenario.
Always worth saying. Always worth saying.
It is a fake scenario. All right. Right. So I've got my new Camp Cymru site, and where's my old one? So you need to set up your site, your folder structure with root, evidence, website. Okay. So root, evidence, website. So I'm not going to be getting to the evidence tonight, so I won't do that. So I'm just going to have root, website. All right.
Yeah.
So I'll just pop back out. New Camp Cymru site. So I'll do root. And in there, I need website.
Website goes in root.
Yeah. And then inside website, we need animation, assets, and HTML files.
Okay.
Animation, assets, HTML files. What am I doing? There we go. Animation, assets, HTML files. Right, website.
Do you actually provide the whole root structure for your students, or do you make them do it themselves so that they start to get familiar with it?
I get them to do it, but I do share that structure with them. Hang on. I'm not saying that I'm super on it tonight, but I've lost it. There it is. Okay, there it is. Right. I am super on it. So yeah, I do share this with them.
Yeah.
This went out in one of the previous sessions. So if you're not signed up, if you're not getting Dom's emails,
Well, speaking of which, Ichtid, nice to see you.
Yeah.
But, you know, he still hasn't signed up for his Key Stage 3 sessions after asking where the email was.
See?
Nightmare, that lad. He's an absolute nightmare.
Dere man, Ichtid, siapau. Right. Then. So yeah, I'd give him this, Dom. Okay, so this structure, like, you know, so anything blue is a folder. And then the yellow stuff is what I'm expecting to be put in there in terms of files.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Right, come on, crack the whip. Let's get on with it.
Well, I was, to be fair, answering your question there. So, you know. So. Right. So I'm going to get my logo. I need my logo.
Yeah.
Logo. Which I have. Logo. Oh, logo caca. Oh dear. Here it is.
Just find one.
I've got one. Here it is.
Oh,
I made one. This guy. Remember this? Right. So, and that goes into assets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. Let's go. Let's sort out the nav bar. Okay. So here I am on Dreamweaver. So we need to set up a new site. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if you're setting up a new site, there's a few different ways of doing it. Like, as with everything on Adobe apps, you could go straight over to files, go to the drop down and go to manage sites there. But I think the most user-friendly way of setting up just a single new site is from the homepage here, from the dashboard, quick start menu, and you've got site setup. So I'm going to click on site setup. And then here we go, site name. So Camp Cymru once again. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need to point this at your root folder. So I'm going to click on the browse icon. Find my root folder. There it is. And click choose. Okay. And click save. There we go. And now Dreamweaver knows what's going on. It knows where the website's meant to be.
Run me through that again.
Yeah. So from the quick start menu, you'd go to site setup.
Yeah.
Okay. And then in the window that pops up, you just give it a name. This name is just for you to know what website you're working on. Yeah. And then you want to point, you click on this browser icon and you point it to your root folder.
Yeah.
Okay. When you find your root folder, you click on it and you click. So I'm on a Mac, so I click choose. If I'm on a PC, it'll say select folder. So I click select. Okay. And then you just click save.
Yeah.
All right. And everything will look as if nothing's happened, but over on the right-hand side now, over in files, you'll see that there, okay? Camp Cymru once again, and there I can see my website, and if I drop that down, I can see my subfolders, and I can even see my logo there in my assets folder. All right? Okay, let's go. So let's make our homepage. So I'm going to go now to create new on the dashboard.
Yeah.
New document, HTML. Now then, we are using Bootstrap framework. And if people are watching for the first time, Bootstrap framework basically gives us a bit of a leg up. Instead of starting with no code at all, Bootstrap kind of gives us a little bit of code to start off with.
I think in England, we'd say leg over rather than leg up. Prefer that leg over. Gives you a leg over.
Okay, well, that means something else entirely in Wales, so I wouldn't say that.
Right, what are we doing then? Here we go. Create new.
So yeah, we got Bootstrap, and then
I mean, come on.
I can't believe you just said that. Right. So so Bootstrap, guys, basically means that we've got a load of drag and drop kind of components that we can use in Bootstrap. And the beauty of Bootstrap is that it is responsive. So if we resize our browser, make it smaller, if we zoom in, Bootstrap is going to respond to that. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. Now then, when you choose Bootstrap, This will be ticked by default, include a pre-built layout.
Yeah.
You want to untick that.
Okay.
Okay, because
is that because the specific, the exam board specifics are saying you can't do that?
no, basically, because the first time I tried this, I went, "Ooh, that sounds great. Let's have a go with that." But the problem with the pre-built layout is that it basically gives you a page with every single thing on it. So it'll have a nav bar, it'll have a carousel, it'll have a jumbotron, it'll have cards, it'll have accordions. So it'll have a bunch of stuff that your kids don't need, and they'll actually spend more time deleting things than it would take to just build it from scratch.
Right.
Okay. So that's why. If you're curious, just make a page and tick it. Do you know what I mean? There's no drama, but honestly, it's more hassle than it's worth to start off with the template and delete stuff than it is to just build things. Okay. So I'm going to untick that, and then I'm going to click create. And then we're going to...
We are live.
We're live. Okay, so you'll get to here. So are you on the split view like I am, Dom?
I am indeed.
Cool, there we are. So at the top, you've got your views. So you've got code view, split view, and live view. So the idea with this is that if you want to feel as if you're in the matrix, you can click on code view and just see your web page in code only. Yeah. Okay. And you can see here that just by choosing to use a Bootstrap framework, that there's already a bunch of stuff in there automatically. Okay. Yeah. It's given us a leg up. And then if we go to that second tab, here is the Bootstrap CSS file with a load of stuff already in there for us. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that.
And then you got these JS files are basically kind of how the animation works. So yeah, exactly. You don't want to touch any of this stuff or you're going to break it. Okay. Yeah. So you won't really be using code view. We'll sometimes use split view if we want to do something fiddly. Yeah. But most of the time, we're going to be on live view, which is basically kind of showing us pretty much how our page will look on the internet.
Okay.
Okie dokie. So the first thing we want to add to any web page is probably the nav bar. Okay. So to add a nav bar, we go to the top right to the Insert tab. And then you want to come down. We're not using HTML. We're using the Bootstrap components.
Oh, nice.
Now, you could use HTML because Bootstrap is just kind of a posh kind of version of HTML. So you can use stuff from the HTML menu in your Bootstrap pages, but the Bootstrap components are more likely, or well, they're pretty much guaranteed to work better if you're resizing the page and want it to be responsive, etc. Okay. So try to avoid using the HTML stuff only. I can't speak unless you have to. For example, when you're adding in your animation, your OAM file, that's in the HTML menu. It's down there, animated composition. Okay. So there isn't an animated composition in the Bootstrap components.
But you can flick between.
Yeah, you can use the HTML stuff in the Bootstrap page. Right. So the nav bars are in the fourth set of Bootstrap components. So you can see we've got these kind of dividers between the sets. So they're kind of in groups. So the first group is kind of page building, layout, creating layouts. Then we've got fun stuff in the second one. So kind of media.
Yeah.
And then the third one is buttons. And the fourth section here, the fourth group is navigation. Okay. So I'm going to click on the drop down here next to nav bar. And you've got four options. You've got a basic nav bar fixed to the top, nav bar fixed to the bottom. I mean, who would do that? I have no idea. And then an inverted nav bar, which just swaps your colors around.
Right.
So I'm really boring, so I usually just go for a basic nav bar. Although I do enjoy a fixed nav bar to the top. I do,
Time is of the essence.
Is it? All right. So I'll choose a basic nav bar. I'll click on it, and it's going to drop it straight in onto my live page here. Okay. Have you got it as well?
No.
No.
Didn't give me anything.
Oh, click on it again on the nav bar, basic nav bar.
Yeah, that's where we are.
No?
No.
Are you getting a pop-up anywhere saying before, after, nest or something
Yeah,
like that?
I am,
Oh,
yeah.
just click after.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So what that is,
look at that.
yeah. You got a nav bar?
That is tasty.
He's cooking on gas. So
Unbelievable.
the reason that so sometimes the first thing you put on your page, it'll just drop it in. But every single time afterwards now, it'll always ask me before, after, nest, or around. Okay. I suppose the thinking is that if there's nothing on the page, then it doesn't matter where I want to put it. It's going to put it at the top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But once there's something else there, then whenever you want to add something, it's going to ask you, where do you want to put this in relation to what you've got selected at the moment? In front, above it, underneath it, inside it, or around it. Okay. So let's sort the nav bar out. Now it looks lovely, but I don't want the search bar. Okay. So I'm going to click on the search bar here, and then I'm going to have a look in my DOM trainer down on the right hand side. So on the right side, you've got a DOM here, okay, named after DOM trainer.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and then I'm going to drop my nav bar down, and it's got kind of more drop downs here. So if I can drop it down, and I can see basically what makes up my nav bar.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are basically this list. Okay, the LI there stands for list. And as I click through my list, so my first button that's my home button. You can see it gives me a blue square around whatever I've got selected. So whatever I click on in the DOM, it'll show me it up on the line.
Yeah.
So the form is that entire search bar and search button there.
Yeah.
And if I drop that down, I've got the input and then I've got the button itself. Now, I don't want any of that. So I'm just going to delete the entire form. So I'm just going to click on form in the DOM, right click, delete. And then that's gone.
That was harsh, but it was fair.
Well, there's no point, there's no point building them up. If they go in, they go in.
You're going to knock them down.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is basically, I'm not going to be using a drop down. Okay, so this nav item drop down, so this list item here, nav item drop down, be gone. I just duplicated it instead of deleting it. There we are.
Let's have a look.
Delete.
Let's drop down. But you have to drop down the whole. You have to delete the whole list, don't you?
Yeah, the whole list item. Yeah, and then this disabled button. So it kind of shows you, when would you ever really want to have a nav bar with a button that's grayed out? I don't understand. So I'm gonna just delete that list item. Okay. You can just
use the delete key, can't you?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Now then, so I'm left now with home and link. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the only thing with this home is that it's if we drop it down here, it says it's a nav item active. The problem with that is that it kind of shows which page you're currently on. If you want to use that, you're going to have to change in every page in the code, which is the active page on the nav bar, which I wouldn't do, let alone get 15-year-olds to do. Yeah. So I'm going to actually get rid of that home button. Okay, so the nav item active, delete that. So the only one I got left now is this link. And the link is basically a bog standard nav bar button. Okay. So if I'm making a 4-page website and one of those pages needs to be hidden away, I'm going to have 3 buttons in my nav bar. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to this list item, nav item here, and I'm going to duplicate it twice. So I'm going to go duplicate.
Yeah.
So now I've got link.
Yeah.
Cool. So straight away now I can get in there and double click on that first link, and I can put home there. This is my home page.
Can you map that to where it says nav bar? Well, that's kind of standard now, isn't it?
Well, yes. We're actually going to do both. Yeah.
Yeah.
You normally have your website logo,
Yeah.
which is a hyperlink to your homepage, and right next to it you'll have home, which is a hyperlink to your homepage. Which, when you think of it like that, is weird, but it is how every website is. Yeah. So I'm doing a campsite. So first page is a welcome page. Second page is a book your stay. And then my third page is contact us.
Simple.
Okay. So if they don't have a logo, you could change Nav Bar there to just Camp Cymru. We could do that. Okay. But I do have a logo. So I'm going to swap that text for my logo. All right. So let's do that. So I'm going to click there in front of the C as if I'm going to type something.
Yeah.
And over in my Insert Bootstrap Components menu, I want to come to the second group, which is my multimedia stuff.
Okay.
I want to drop in a responsive image in there.
Okay.
Okay. Now then, it's asking me, where do you want to put it? So you've clicked inside a text box. Do you want to put it before this text box? Do you want to put it after this text box? Or do you want to put it inside the text box? Well, I want this image to be in there, in that box where it currently says Camp Cymru. So I want to nest it.
Yeah.
So nest, and it's going to put that gray square in there right next door to the Camp Cymru text. Okay. Now then, I want to swap this gray square, which is referred to as the placeholder image, for my logo. Now, there's different ways of doing this. So I have been showing you before how to use the target down here, but maybe I'll look at a cleaner way of doing it today, which is using the hamburger drop down. So click on this gray square, click on the hamburger drop down, and in here we can then, it says, okay, what's the source? Basically, what image do you want here?
Yeah.
So I'm going to click browse by file, and then I'm going to go into the website, into my assets. There's my logo. Click open, and it's going to replace my image in there. Okay. And it is massive. Right.
It's like a jungle.
Yes. So let's change the width and the height straight away. So in here, in this flyout that we've got open, I'm gonna just try. Let's try 10%. Oh, it doesn't let me type percent there, no. Oh, it's done. Okay, it's done it as pixels. That's fine. I'm gonna go with it. So I'm gonna just do it. Let's try 50 pixels wide, 60 pixels wide. I'll go for 60.
Okay.
Cool.
100 was a good shot for me, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and I always get the kids to, it's trial and error. There's no kind of right answer to that.
Yeah.
Cool. Now then, alt text. Remember us talking about that? So they are going to talk about why that's important. So basically, if somebody was, listening to your web page via a screen reader, what would you want the screen reader to say out loud when it hits this image? So it'll say that it's an image.
Cymru.
Yeah, well, I think you'd want it to say something like, you wanted to say Camp Cymru logo, new.
I mean, you didn't want to be very friendly, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm presuming there's going to be text on the page saying "Welcome to Camp Cymru" anyway.
Hey, listen, we're just different people. It's fine.
All right. So, right then, link. We are. What happens if somebody clicks on this? We're going to want it. We're going to want it to go to the home page. And what do we always save the home page as? Index.html.
HTML.
Okay.
Index.html.
Sorry, Dom, put you on the spot there. I just thought it was a nice. I thought it was a nice question. Sorry. Right. Right, and then I'm going to click on the hamburger menu just to close that flyout down. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I've now got Camp Cymru. I can't even say it. I've got Camp Cymru. So I'm going to get rid of this text.
Yeah.
You know, you're welcome to have both if you've got quite an abstract logo. Maybe you want the text as well, but for me, I don't need it.
I think Icted probably wants to have both. His will probably be quite abstract, I think.
Let us know, Icted.
Cool.
Give us a shout out down below in the comments.
Ding, 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 ding.
Right. Nice. Right then. So, seeing as we've given that logo a link, let's do the same for our nav buttons.
Yeah.
So I'm going to click on the first one. And down in my properties panel. Oh, now then, guys, if you don't have your properties panel at the bottom of the screen, you're going to need to go to Window and tick Properties.
I was just about to ask you that. And then you can dock it.
Yeah, and then it'll dump it in the middle of the page, but just bring it down to the bottom, and it'll, you know, the bottom of the screen will glow blue.
Woo!
And it'll dock to the bottom. Keep it there because you're gonna need it.
Yeah, it's
right.
docked.
So again, the welcome page also goes to index.html. So down here, instead of that hashtag, I'm going to type
It's just refusing to take part in bans. I'm not even sure that's allowed. Anyway, index.
Or he's typing up a real rant. I don't know. You know what I mean? He's flaming up bad. You know? Right. So I've done that.
Yeah.
So now that first button goes to index.html. So you should have already planned out in one of your B documents in the planning your website what your HTML file names are going to be. So, you know, your kids should know that what they're going to save these pages as. So I'm going to save mine as index.html, book.html, and contact.html because they sound like sensible names. Okay. So when I click on book your stay, well, I want the link to go to book.
Yeah.
.html.
Mm-hmm.
When I click on contact us, I want that to link to contact. .html. All right.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Cool. So let's save this page right now as index.html and just see how it's behaving in a browser. So I'm going to go File, Save. And I'm going to make sure that this goes into website and into HTML files. Okay, into the HTML file subfolder. And this is called index.
Yeah.
Index. If you're working on a Mac, you'll need that .html. If you're working on a PC, you don't need to add the extension. You just need to type index, and then the PC version of Dreamweaver adds .html for you. So I have had students typing it in, and then their file name will be index.html.html.
Right, and it's going crazy.
Which is mad, yeah. So on a PC, you don't need to type the extension in. It knows that you're saving it as a HTML.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, the Mac did. It put it in, but it shows it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna click save, and it's gonna say, "Hey, dude, you need to save this placeholder.png that you're not using anymore, but we want you to save it anyway." So just click OK. Okay, so now if I jump over to my website into the HTML files, and if I open up that index file with Google Chrome, here it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if I click on the logo, we should see, if you keep your eye on my tab here,
Yeah.
you'll see it really quickly reloading. Okay. And if I click on welcome, it's doing the same. And here's what's interesting. If I click on book your stay,
there's nothing there.
I get an error message because I don't.
What? I can tell you what that is. I can tell you what that is immediately.
What?
It doesn't even exist.
No, you're right. The file book.html doesn't exist yet. But once it does exist, our nav bar will be working like jam. Right. Now then. If we want to see our accessibility features at work, then we can do things like Control plus or Command plus on a Mac, zoom right into 500%, and we can see that everything's looking nice and snappy. And it's resized things for us, and the nav bar has kind of shifted into a drop down. Okay, if I used it, try to kind of recreate a mobile phone screen.
Yeah,
it'll do the same for me there, and it'll give me. Where's my mouse pointer gone? Oh my gosh, my mouse. Oh my gosh. Do you know? I just realized that can do that. Do you know I got my iPad as well?
Oh yeah.
It actually extends. My mouse moves from my laptop screen over to my iPad. Sorry.
Are you using it as an extra screen?
I just plugged it in.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Charge off my MacBook. So that's why I'm losing my mouse pointer. It's over on my iPad all the time. Anyway, sorry guys. Sorry. Right.
Yeah. You teach yourself to do a carousel. You've got 9 minutes. In fact, you've got 8 minutes.
Let's go. Right. Let's do this. Carousel. Let's go. So I'm going to add a carousel into a fluid container. So I'm going to select my nav in the DOM. Here it is. Okay. And up in the Bootstrap components, I'm going to add a container fluid. Now, the difference between a container and a container fluid is that a container has white padding either side of your content. Okay, kind of margins, basically. But with a carousel, it's quite nice with the carousel when the images go all the way to the edges of your browser window.
Yeah.
So for the carousel, I'm going to use container fluid, which, as fluid does, fills the available space. So I'm going to click on that. And this is coming after my nav bar. So
there is actually the carousel option, but you're not going to use that for your carousel.
I am, yeah. I'm going to put it inside a fluid container.
Good.
Yeah, because I want to make sure that my carousel fills the width of my screen. Okay. So here's my container fluid now.
Yeah.
Click inside it.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to go to the second group of Bootstrap components, the fun stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose carousel. Okay, and I'm going to nest that in this container fluid. There is my pretty shoddy looking carousel so far. So then you will need to prepare your images for the carousel. And I would suggest an app that we've got no real link to, which is called Adobe Express. I don't know if you've heard of it, Tom.
Who'd have thought?
So on this,
just like a gallery, an image gallery.
So on Adobe Express, okay, I'm going to go to custom size. And I want a nice short banner. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to go to social profile, and I think the Twitch banner is a good kind of site, a good dimension for that. Okay. So I'm going to choose the Twitch banner. You could set up a custom size, or if you want a taller banner, there's other options in there under popular as well. Okay, but I like the really kind of short banner. So choose next. So this is a campsite. So let's just, you could spend time on this, but there isn't much point. So I'm just gonna look for camping. Yep.
Oh, I've just got a cracker. Look at that.
Of course you have.
Amazing.
They give you all the better photos, don't you? Because you work there.
I'm on the student version.
No, I'm not sure if I believe you.
It's been on before. My choice of images is exemplary.
Right.
Carry on.
So I'm gonna save this project as carousel 1, and I'm gonna download it as a PNG.
Well, you could duplicate the page.
Yep.
Make a multi-page doc.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, but I reckon. Yeah, you could. Yeah, that's true. So I'm just gonna choose another image.
Mm-hmm.
It's in. delete that one from the background, put this one in the background, call that car 2.
This is amazing.
Download, bam. I think this is faster than having it as a multi-page document, to be honest.
You could say that.
Well, you could if you wanted to be accurate.
If you wanted to be inaccurate, you could say. I mean, why not? You know, no one's stopping you.
Oh, and then I get this camping gear one. Right. There we are. Great. Lovely. Save that as car 3. Save. Download. PNG. So I've now got car 1, car 2, car 3 in my downloads. So I just need to do a bit of files housekeeping here now. I need to get those from my downloads into my assets folder. Okay. So that'll obviously be different on whatever machines you've got. Oh, gosh. I just sorted it by name by mistake. That's slowing me down. Slow me down. Right.
I mean, I've got my multi-page document. I'm exporting them all as individual files.
But mine is in the assets folder ready to go. So there we are. Right.
Oops.
Right. So back to Dreamweaver. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my first.
You put them all in the assets folder, did you?
I have, yes. Yeah, they need to be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just checking. No.
So now I'm going to click on my first slide here in the carousel, and then I'm going to use the same drop down. Sorry, not drop down. The same hamburger menu here as we did when we added our logo.
You and your hamburgers.
And then the sauce.
The sauce.
In the sauce. I'm going to choose car 1. Open it up. And it's really important that you tick this to make it responsive, because you can see there that this image is overflowing on the side of my browser at the moment. So I'm going to just tick that, make it responsive. It's going to fit perfectly.
Nice.
So what is my alt text for this? Camp booking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely. So now we need to do the same for the other 2 slides. Now, unfortunately, there's no easy way of getting to those 2 slides from live view. So we have to get our code wellies on now. Okay.
Oh. Whoa.
So let's go. Let's just get into split view here. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's pretty straightforward. We can see here. Well, this is my first slide. You can see first slide heading. So this is the second one here. Okay.
Right. Got you.
So you can see the source is this placeholder image. So this from this speech mark after source.
Yeah.
Source. All the way to the end of that placeholder PNG.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to delete that. And in there, then, I just want to type /assets / oh, why is it doing that? Why is it? Oh, I've spelled assets incorrectly. That's embarrassing.
I'm glad you said that.
Why is it giving me this? Right, let's try this. Assets. There we are. Oh, yeah. So you basically
do the 2 dots, don't you?
You copy that. Yeah. You don't usually have to do that, but basically you just copy the layout of the one above. So I've got this .. /asset. So I'm just basically you see.
I'm miles out of you. Miles.
Are you? Right. Yeah. Well, I'm narrating this tale. All right. So, and then you also do you remember we ticked that box to make that first image responsive?
I do.
Okay, well, we need to do that in code, and that's not as scary as it sounds. You can see here the difference between the image class here is dblock/mx auto.
Yeah.
But above it, we got image fluid in there. Yeah. So that's all we need is I'm just going to copy that.
I mean, there is something nice about coding sometimes. It is a bit like
especially
like Wally, isn't it?
Yeah, and it does make you feel good, and especially if it's something pretty straightforward, which this is really, because basically we've got the first one as an example, and it's like, okay, well, you need to do another 2 that look like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'll go to my third one there, Brilliant. Now, if you did want to, and then the alt text, you could change your alt text in here then, you see? So that's the alt.
Yeah.
Now then, the headings as well. Okay, so you could just change these in here.
I'm already looking at mine on the preview. Looks absolutely professional. This is unbelievable.
Right. All right. Well, I feel I got FOMO now, so I'm just gonna save all, and I'm gonna jump over, and I'm gonna refresh my page.
Nice.
Here we go. So you could just get rid of those in Dreamweaver if you don't want any text at all. You could just get rid of these, the header and the caption.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially if you've spent a bit more time in Express, maybe you've got some text on there or something anyway, you know.
I think in mine where, you know, clearly I've spent a lot of time choosing images which really grab the reader's attention. Unlike you, I suppose I don't need the text. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So there we go. So you know, it's the slider works. The slider works really well, and if you leave it alone, it'll slide forward on its own after some. I think it's 5 seconds or something like that. But what's really great as well, obviously, is that if you resize your browser, then this is all responsive. So you know everything. Oh, my mouse has flown over to my iPad again.
One thing. Okay, I do need your help here. I need your help.
Yeah.
So I want to get rid of that text on there, but when I click on that text, it's actually not coming up in my code view.
So it was down here.
Yeah, I just got blank now. I think I actually have to.
You need to save and refresh.
Save and refresh.
Save in Dreamweaver, refresh in Chrome, and then it should be.
Yeah, but when I'm in Dreamweaver now, I'm selecting that text box, and it's actually just not coming up at the bottom.
Have you deleted it in the code?
No, because the code's not appearing in my view. You see, there's something easy I need to do here. I just don't know what it is.
Do you want to throw your screen up, or do you not want to?
Hang on. Yeah, I can do that. Present, share screen, entire screen, share. Right. Hang on a minute. No, remove that. Oh, it's down here. Yeah. Okay. Hang on a sec.
Yeah, I'm hanging on. It's fine. The only other thing we've got to talk about really is getting a YouTube video in, which
right,
which is quite nice as well. Yeah.
So here I am with my incredible images, and but if I select the text here, and I'm in split view, select the text, I feel like I should be able to
go to code view then.
Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing there. Okay. When I get things like that, oh no, that's your Bootstrap stuff. Go to the source code, the first tab.
Here we go. Okay. Maybe just use the kick.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay, fine. Yeah. Easy peasy. So I'll just go down to my second slide heading. First slide. So all of this nonsense, just get rid of. I mean, can't I get rid of the that div class as well?
Yeah, I think you could. I didn't. So yeah, you could tidy up your code a bit better than I have by getting rid of that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Right. So
you could also add in a fourth slide, couldn't you, just by copying that? Going down here, sticking a line in.
You'd need to copy. Yeah, you need to copy the entire chunk. I do tell my kids, look, it's going to save you a lot of bother if you just stick to 3. Don't go to 2 and don't go to 4. Just stick to 3. Because you'll probably break something.
That's exactly what I'm going to do right now.
Break something. Do we want to do a YouTube video now or not?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. So here I am on YouTube, randomly selecting a video that so I don't know. This session 16 looks like it needs more views, so let's get some more on that. So right. So what you need to do is get your YouTube. All right. You need to get your YouTube video ready. Okay, so there's my YouTube video ready there. Right, over in Dreamweaver. I'll go back to live view. Now then, you may want to have your video filling the screens, in which case you put it into a fluid container like we've done with the carousel.
Yeah.
If you want it to be smaller, then maybe you'd use a grid row with columns or something like that to give yourself a smaller window, basically. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to click on that container fluid where my carousel is, and I'm going to add a standard container afterwards. Okay. So container after. So this is just going to give me a new empty box underneath the carousel. There it is. Okay, so if I just put my YouTube video in there, it's basically the width of the video is going to fill the width of this orange box. So, I mean, in most cases, that's probably too big, you know?
Yeah.
So you then use a grid row with columns. So inside this container, I'm going to add a grid row with columns. So grid row with columns, and I'll go for a 2 columns, text on one, YouTube video on the other, and I'm going to nest it in here. Okay, here we go. So I go content goes here, content goes here. So on this second one here, I'm just going to click before the C again, same as I did when I added the logo to my nav bar. Click in front of the C, and I'm coming over to the fun stuff group in Bootstrap Components, and in there's a responsive video embed. So I'm just drop that in, and I'm going to nest that in there. Okay, and that blue box kind of shows us what kind of size that video is going to be.
Yeah.
Now, I could, if I wanted, I could just make that column smaller and this column bigger, and then my video would be a little bit bigger. Okay, so you can resize like that. Okay, so let's get that video in there. So we're going to go again into the split view. Now, you see there, I clicked on it, this kind of blue rectangle, and it's showing me here the iframe and code. Okay, iframe HTML starts with iframe and it ends with iframe. Right, over on YouTube, those handsome chappies. So over on YouTube,
that's where I learned divlas.
Divlas, yes. Over on YouTube, unfortunately, you can't just copy and paste the URL. Okay, and it feels in this day and age as if you should be able to, but you can't. You need an iframe embed code from YouTube. Yeah. So to get hold of that, we need to click on the share button underneath the video. And by the way, you don't need to own the video. You know, I've just gone on this video for a joke. This could be any video. It doesn't need to be a video that you own the channel to.
This video is not a joke.
No, nothing is. No.
Just be careful there.
Very serious.
Really careful.
You can choose any video. You doesn't have to be one you own. It can be from any channel. And then when you click share, you want to click on the first pip here, which says embed. All right, and you can see now on the right-hand side, you can see there's a bunch of code here which starts and ends with iframe. So we're just going to click copy in the bottom right. All right, and then we're going to jump back over to Dreamweaver, and I'm just going to select this code, which is iframe to iframe, and I'm going to paste my new code in instead.
Yeah.
File, save all. Just go back over to Chrome, refresh my page, and Shazam! I've got a YouTube video in there. And once again, if I increase my size, go up to 500%, stuff gets shifted around.
Yeah.
It's all nice and responsive. Yeah. And that's how you get a YouTube video in.
Right, well, there you go. That was a masterclass. Well done.
I thought it was. I thought it was a really good one. I think I nailed it tonight.
I thought that was great. And actually, quite a few people asked me on email about that. That was one of the reasons why we wanted to do it.
Yeah, I think YouTube you need to do really, because the exemplar had links to videos. So I think that's something that, you know, is a good thing to put in. The carousel is not asked for, but I'm going to try and get all my kids to do this year because it is sweet.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it looks great. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to email out the Unit 2 cheat sheets that I'm ready to put hours and hours of R&D into. And I will also ask people, you know, is there anything specific you would like us to cover? Because we kind of feel like we've reached a natural conclusion now. But if there was anything that people are screaming out for, then we could always do a bonus episode. Who doesn't like a bonus episode?
I'd like a bonus episode.
Right. Thanks, as always. Diolch yn fawr iawn, and we hope it was useful, and we'll be in touch. There you go. Look at that. You get on the controls.
I know.
Amazing.
Watch out.
Right. Take care, everyone. And we will. There we go.
Thanks for tuning in for all these sessions, isn't it? Thanks for giving us your time. Thank you. Yeah.
Exactly. Take care. This is a good moment to end it on. Don't stop.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's keep it there.